Well, welcome back, everybody, and to WeAwake. And my name is still John Dupuy. Haven't changed it yet. And this is still WeAwake Technology, and this is the gang here, most of the gang, and our team, our family, our sangha, our community. Anyway, we're here again, and thank you for those. I know some of you are very faithful at being here and meditating with us, and we super appreciate you. We appreciate the energy that you add to the field that is created when we meditate together, and it's measurable and palpable. So today we're going to do the first track of let's see here, of two tracks that are called Kundalini. And for those of you who know about, I don't know, Eastern spiritual practices, you've probably heard the word Kundalini before. And it is an energy, a life force that merges down at the bottom of the spine and moves up through the 7 energy centers in our body, and boom, wakes us up. And is very tied into the energetic force of the universe. And Judith Pennington is the one who is a voice you're going to hear. And she's such a brilliant woman and colleague and a friend. I have so much respect for her. When Judith talks, you just listen. You know, she's one of those wise ones. And she is actually reading the meditation of Anna Wise, who is one of the pioneers of this whole understanding about what the different brain waves are, how they function for meditation for different purposes. And if we see far here at WeAwake, is we're definitely standing on the shoulders of Anna Wise. She's a great pioneer, and her books are still really relevant and very inspiring. So check her out. So those are her words read by Judith Pennington, and the music, the entrainment music, transformative sound, is done by our brother Lee Spusta of Deep Delta and Deeply Theta fame among the integral recovery. I was also using his that guided meditation. Anyway, he's done a bunch of our stuff, and he's just brilliant. He takes music, he plays all this stuff himself. He's just a genius and a wizard. So, and a scientist. So it's a great mix. So without further ado, this is 25 minutes. So assume the position. It's better if you can have especially for this, have your spine straight, and that can be with crossed knees, or it could be just sitting up straight in a chair if you're able to. Some people can because of whatever conditions they have, but if you can't do it, just try to just stretch your spine. There we go. All right, brilliant. So without further ado, let's get this thing rocking. See you on the other side.
Sit comfortably with your spine straight and allow your eyes to close. Allow yourself to take a few minutes to clear your mind and relax. begin to experience yourself going into a very deep state of meditation. It's almost a sense of falling backwards into softness.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. And wow, that was beautiful. My goodness, I haven't listened to that one for a while. You have so many treasures at WeAwake. But anyway, thank you for suggesting that, Heidi. It brought to mind when I first started using brain entrainment technology or binaural beats. I was looking for a way to enhance meditation for my students who were recovering from drug addiction and alcoholism. And whatever I was doing, it wasn't quite getting there, and it's very hard for them to meditate. I mean, people would just come off, and these were pretty severe cases, and it wasn't working. So I was searching for something better, something that would work more effectively. And I heard a conversation with Bill Harris and Ken Wilber, and they were talking about this technology. And I was, wow, that sounds pretty cool. So then I went on the internet and I investigated it quite a bit. And there were different companies too. Insight Meditation was one of the companies at that time. And it was Holosync, and I forget the others, but I started using these. I wanted to test it, see if it would, if I thought it would be effective for my students. And very shortly after I started using this stuff, I had this massive spiritual opening. And just, whoa. And I had spiritual experiences before. I often said I am haunted by God. I keep getting zapped. And it started out when I think it was 11 years old, the first big one. I mean, everything is spiritual all the time, but I'm talking about being aware of it. And so I was just like, God. And the revelation was this, that itty bitty John was also this vast infinitude of living consciousness that was everything, and I was that. And that it was really good and really beautiful, and that death and dying was no big deal, because what we are is never born in the first place. Okay, so there's this great peace comes with that kind of knowing. But one of the really interesting stuff that came out of that, or that I seem to be being taught, was that my little bitty John self was also mattered and was unique. And I've been familiar with Zen teachings and some of the Eastern traditions, and it was like, the self is an illusion, blah blah blah, not a big deal, just stop paying attention to it and become one with all things, right? So that's a vast simplification of an ancient tradition, but anyway, that's basically it. But in this thing, he says, no, that's not so. You do matter. Your little itty bitty self is miraculously unique, and the creation of the universe, and there's God, and you matter, and you are that at the same time that you are everything. Okay, and in quantum physics, they started, they started looking at these smallest entities that we can figure out, and they found out that you look at them one way, and they're this little particle, a discrete thing, event, something. You can't taste it, you can't hammer it. It's just this thing that exists. And then you look at it another way, and it just spreads out into infinity. Okay. You start getting down to that level, things get really weird. But they also help us to understand that the kind of experiences I'm talking about actually have parallels or have similitudes in the world of quantum physics, the basic substance stuff, or whatever that stuff is, of the universe. And when I was in grad school, I became a graduate assistant to Fritjof Capra, who wrote some books about comparing what they were finding in quantum physics and what the mystics of all the traditions have been telling us, and that they were very, very similar. So it's nice. It gives us kind of at that point, I really needed a scientific thing to hang it on. I still do. I still like the science behind it. So anyway, that was the revelation. And so yeah, so one of the big teaching was, you matter. Okay. You really do. You're a unique creation of God. And all this infinity that is the universe or multiverses, whatever it is, you matter. And, Jesus said that God cares about, a hair that falls from your head, every bird in the field, everything, it's all somehow accounted for, because it all is that. And your unique expression is vastly holy, vastly interesting, and vastly important in some strange way. At least that's what this experience, this present, seemed to be teaching me and letting me know. Wow. And it was really good, because I kind of needed to hear that. I didn't think much of myself at the time. And I was just kind of hanging around, hoping I could achieve something noble or good, something, whatever, with my life. Because I was very sad a lot of the time, very depressed. So that was, so all that to say, you matter, okay? And you don't think that's true, go deep inside. Go deep inside your heart, deep inside yourself. And say, hey, God, and for lack of a better word, I'll just say God, whatever you want to call it. Do I matter? And why? And the answer will probably come back, because I love you. Mystery of mysteries, right? But that's what it seems to say. So given that, we should love ourselves, right? And given that, we should take the incredible opportunity of being alive and being this little John, or little Rex, little Pam, little Heidi, and do that the best we can. Cultivate our holiness, cultivate our minds, cultivate our compassion, cultivate our bodies. Recently I heard somebody, he was paraphrasing a Chinese master from the I Ching, that tradition. And he said, would you put in the supreme effort to achieve whatever that is? The supreme effort becomes effortless, you really get it. Okay. So we do all this work, right? To become better people, become better, whatever our multi-roles are that we have in this unique expression of divinity, of the holiness of the universe that each one of us is. And of course, what does that mean? It means we have to treat everybody else like that too. You know? In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus said, the kingdom of God is within you. It also says in the other Gospels that are accepted, part of the canon. But in this one, he says the kingdom is in you and without you. So if you matter that much in the heart and mind of God, then so does everyone else. And I think if we could just take that to the bank and walk in that recognition that a lot of these incredibly insoluble problems that we seem to be having between ourselves and inside ourselves would be resolved in a very wise, compassionate, and functional way. It's that simple. That person matters. I matter. Why? Because we are God. And what is that? It is love. And is it personal? It is. One time I was having a conversation with a person who says, well, I don't believe in a personal God. And I said, well, are we being personal? And she said, yes. I said, well, there it is. Right? So God is personal. Personal is an aspect of the divine. So anyway, Judith Pennington and Lee Spoosta and Anna Wise gave us that gorgeous meditation today. And so love yourself, know that you matter, and treat yourself and walk a path that is an expression of that. And realize that all those who are with you also, the kitty, the dogs, the birds, the bees, all of that stuff. It's all sacred. It's all holy. It's all good. Okay. That's it. God bless you guys. Thank you.